session. My name is Tara, and I am about to GM this game as a character named Corinna, and I am joined with some of our Dragon Thrones players, and we are going to explore the mines of Ardmore, which is one of the areas in the world of Cambria, and Ardmore promises gems, gold, basically stuff to make us all rich, which is fantastic. But there has been a recent collapse in the mine, and we are also looking for religious type things, artifacts, blessings from the god Letitius, and we're also going to have a lot of other religious discussion and conversation as we go on. So we have already covered emotional safety, communications, those sorts of concerns, out of game and offline before we started streaming, so that's all been taken care of, and we look forward to you getting to know our characters and watching as we go on. I will be in game, so if you have any kind of like questions on the stream or stuff, you can leave them there, but GMing this game comes first, and making sure everyone in here is taken care of definitely comes first, so it might take me a bit to get back to you. Alright, so 3, 2, 1... game on. Hi, everybody. Hi. It's so excited to see both our friends and our allies here. And I've been spending a lot of time in the fields and actually talking to Doldrum, which is our golem, who's kind of like, he's a soldier, but he sort of is also kind of like, I want to say like a pet. He's pretty cool. So maybe we can talk to him. So for those of you who don't know me, I'm Corinna. I help King Raphael. I'm from Ardmore. And I'm also known for prophecies, visions. I am also the wife of the famous Sir Eric. He's the champion of Ardmore. And he's draconian. He's kind of amazing. But Eric is unfortunately still ill and has been since the summer. So I'd love to help him. I'd love to maybe find a cure for him. I've been praying a lot for him. I've become more religious. I've been speaking a lot to Letitius. I've been working with Colin to be more devout in hopes that maybe Eric will get better. So, but it's really nice to see all of you here. There's some people that we haven't really worked with as much, and I've begged and begged and begged our king, as has our chancellor. We've begged our king to please be nice to people who might have been mean to us before, because we want to work together. And the big news is that one of our big mines has collapsed. There might actually be workers inside of the mines. We don't know who, we don't know how many, but there might be some in there. They obviously don't have any magic mirrors with them, but or they would have reached out to us, but they're in there, and we need your help finding them. And we can do that by using our friend Doldrum, the golem, to go in and look for them. And I have some abilities to see the future, and also sometimes I can channel stuff, so I can kind of help you talk to Doldrum. And hi, everybody.
Greetings.
It's nice to see all of you and meet all of you. Is everybody having a good day?
Yes, I suppose.
It displeases me that someone's obviously not taking proper records of who goes into the mines.
Well, I mean, we were a little understaffed in the mines.
Nonsense.
Bureaucracy can be a little difficult. I understand that such mistakes can be made. We are here to rectify them, clearly.
There were some mistakes, and it might have had to do with... Oh, I can't say, because the king will get super mad at me if I say that, so I'm not going to say it. It might have had... Well, I'll put it in a more diplomatic way. It might have had to do with some lack of documentation regarding some of the people working in the mine. That sounds about right. So, what?
We'll have to borrow some of those Helfarian babies that they don't want anymore.
You have babies working in your mines?
No, the Helfarians throwing the babies out in the cold. We'll have to raise some of them to be.
Do they?
Your mines.
Do they do that? They really.
I mean, everyone starts out as a child eventually, right? All deserve to have work and to live. It's better to work in a mine with food and shelter than to be thrown out into the cold, right?
You are right. But Lord Lucid would embrace all of those children.
In what way?
Practice from a king that was mad.
We can be civil.
That's where those bones come from. You must know.
I must beg your pardon, Tanza. We mean no ill.
Oh, I understand. I'm in hostile territory when investigating another kingdom's god. I understand that.
Well, I would like you to feel most welcome.
Well, thank you.
I mean, Letitius is nice. He's been really nice to me.
Letitius is all right. He's not bad.
I've heard of some practices that make me question that.
What
I
practices?
can't say that much luck with any sort of god.
I think we'll just have to see if this Letitius is actually as good as you say.
Letitius has provided us with gold and gems for generations upon generations.
They just happen to be locked in the mine right now, and we made adequate sacrifices, so I don't know why bad things are happening to us.
Letitius rewards hard work.
Your god requires sacrifices?
Yes.
All gods require sacrifices.
No, gods don't require sacrifices.
I would point out that the Lancaster gods are a little bit more forgiving in that regard.
All gods require sacrifices. Whether or not you see them is a different matter.
Not physical. Perhaps love and dedication.
And that is a sacrifice of sorts.
I think that's the way that the Lancasters also believe. Love and dedication, to a degree.
No, great dedication and love. Let's call it that.
Oh my.
Well, this welcomes all sacrifices.
Well,
That's what concerns me.
Well, since the mine is in Ardmore, and Letitius has known to be more generous when we offer sacrifice and or prayer, and I assure you, sacrifice has already been offered, but maybe more prayers would help. If everyone would be open-minded enough, maybe we could have a prayer to Letitius to help us get into the mine and recover anyone who was trapped in there, and maybe also find some stuff.
So, as long as it wouldn't offend anyone.
So, with my experience with Letitius and sacrifices, I think that it would be in our best interest for us all to maybe offer a little bit of a blood sacrifice before we enter this mine and start this prayer.
Poorly.
That's a great idea.
Your blood?
I think maybe if you prick your finger a little bit, just a little tiny drop of blood would do.
That's what thorns are for.
Yes.
Brother Rose.
Oh, yes, we do have thorns. Do be careful how close you come.
Make sure that you get your blood on the magic mirror so that when we go ahead and use certain tools like spells or the golem or prayers, that we can use all of our power together to make that happen. It's always the worst part. It hurts. Alright. Well, I've given my blood of Ardmore.
As have I.
Is this required?
You know it is, Gareth.
God save us all then.
It's fine. It's not like we haven't done this a million times before, even though it's kind of questionable with your blood.
I think everyone in Cambria has seen your blood, Gareth.
It's where we are that concerns me.
I will not offer my blood, but I will offer one of my magic crystals instead.
Thank you.
That
Thank
is
you.
acceptable. Thank you very much.
Has everyone who has wanted to make an offer of blood or other substance done so?
Yes.
A ring from Lancaster to your god.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm not afraid to shed a little blood.
Thank you.
Thank you, King Goose.
All right. Well, now that the blood has been shed, I will turn it over to Colin to say whatever kind of prayer he needs to get this started.
All right, is everybody ready?
I'm ready.
Please mentally prepare yourselves. Letitius, we ask for your strength. Make us solid as stone. For Ardmore. For our allies. Forever.
That was lovely. Well, as this happened, I mean, my friend Doldrum, there he is, out in the field. He's definitely coming to life. And he seems to be ready for his king to command him, and for the Chancellor as well to guide him. You two are better friends with him than I am, and and the Shadow too. I sit and hang out with him a lot, but I don't really have conversations with him because he's usually all not animated. Yeah. So, let him know what you want him to do. The mine obviously has to be cleared out. And then if at any point you need me to, do the thing that I do and kind of facilitate as my prophetic medium kind of self, I'll do it, because I'm hoping to find a cure in there for Eric. So, I don't know. So do we want to use Doldrum to get this job done?
Let's give the honor to the Chancellor. Chancellor, command the golem. Awesome. Doldrum, please proceed to the mine.
I'm looking through Doldrum's eyes, and he doesn't feel a lot because he's made of stone, which is sad. Oh, Doldrum, I wish you could feel things. It's really nice to feel a lot. But anyway, Doldrum is walking down towards the mines from his perch on the hill. Which is going to take a minute, because he's kind of slow. He's not, fast. He doesn't run and stuff like we do, really. But I guess he could. I don't know. And right now, he's about twice the size of a human. And he's running up to the mine, and I see through his eyes, and I see him looking at the rocks, and he's gotten so gentle over the last few months. Now he carefully picks up the rocks and places them down, and it's going a little slowly, but he's really gentle, so he doesn't disturb everything.
Well, there's nothing I like more than a gentle giant.
Yeah,
Are all the this slow?
No. This is just a nice one.
If you give him some blood, he'll move faster.
Oh, I think enough blood has been given.
There's never enough blood.
Of course,
Now.
you would say such a thing.
Do we want him to keep moving, slowly? Or do you want to encourage him to...
In this matter, I feel slowly is better. We don't want to crush anyone nearby. with
that
Forget Crush.
Okay, well, he's kind of, looking through his eyes, I see him sort of picking stuff up and putting it down and looking around, and he's being kind of careful with things, and I notice as he moves one of the rocks, that actually looks like the rock was facing the wall. So in other words, if the rock split, like if this rose was a rock and this was a wall, my hand was the wall, and it split, this side of the rock, which would have been connected to the wall, something looks a little strange about it. And take a look at that, Doldrum. Tell me what you see. It looks like there's some strange writing on it. It doesn't look Ardmorian at all, and I don't recognize it at all, but it seems kind of like old. It seems like, you know what it looks like? Your Majesty, it looks like that rune you came back with when you went on your adventure.
He didn't come out.
The black dark rune. It's in the rock.
The one that I also have one?
Do you have one too?
Did he come back with it from Snowdonia?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. I also have one.
Yeah, that's what it looks like.
It's the best Rinse Club, Mark.
Oh, well, I'm not in that club, but the weird thing about it is, like I said, it looks like it was in the rock. So, I don't know. It's just a thing I noticed as Doldrum is moving all these stones. And anyway, so Doldrum he's still moving stones. He's really slow.
Doldrum, will you put that rock aside somewhere that we can find it again?
Doldrum wants to smile, but he's not really good at smiling. But he would if he could. And I see that he's moving that over to the side. He's putting it like up over there so that you can find it later. And I think he just wants to make you happy. So he keeps moving the rock slowly. He's real slow. It's going to take a while.
You can make it faster.
Do we want to make him faster? Because we could.
I think you do.
Why don't we order the other golems to come and assist him?
We could do that, but you know what that means.
I got it.
Why? Why do you do it on your palm? That's so impractical.
Would you rather we cut wrists instead?
No, fingers, like you said. Or the back of your hand. You need to grip things with your palm. Don't do that.
Or perhaps your shoulder. Your hand is pretty sensitive.
I have very callous.
Keep this in mind.
There are various appendages you could cut off.
All right.
Crazy mouth chef.
Doldrum is still moving slowly, and from what I can tell, there might not be enough power for us to control like all of the golems at once, but they can at the very least come down here and help us clear this out so it doesn't take forever. So I see Doldrum, he's looking up and he's looking over at the other two golems that come to assist, and they're not like him. Like Doldrum kind of has, I don't know, how would everyone else describe Doldrum? He kind of has a personality. He kind of has a sense of self.
He does.
Sentient.
Yeah. So they're not like him. They're just there to take orders and do stuff. One of them is kind of, he's faster, let's say, but he's getting the job done. They're not disturbing the rock that the king asked to be put aside. And I see that it's clear. And I see the two golems that came to help. They're now standing on either side of the entrance to the cave. And Doldrum is ready to move forward, and there's enough space for him to go in.
Awesome. Doldrum, can you enter the mine proper now?
I see him going into the mine. And like I said, Doldrum doesn't really feel things the same way we do, but he still gets some feelings. Like he's I want to say kind of hesitant.
He's got a heart of diamonds, so.
Yeah. Well, he keeps walking forward and kind of clearing out stones as he goes. And are you hearing that? The calls for help? I'm hearing calls for help.
Well, we should go see what that is then.
I don't like...
Yes. A question. Do you normally set up an operation outside or inside the mine?
Well, all the gems and rocks and gold are inside the mine, so normally inside.
Do we see anything out of the ordinary besides the broken camp? Things that might suggest something more problematic?
I've got Doldrum looking around at everything, and it looks to him like it was just a normal collapse. But I know that throughout Cambria there have been like shifting earth and movements and stuff recently, so I guess it makes... I don't know a lot about rocks. I'm not Doldrum, but it makes sense that that rocks shifted around and this happened.
Doldrum, if I can give you some of my blood, can we move faster? We need to help whoever's calling out in there. I have faith in your strength and your power.
I agree. I will offer some as well, if needed.
I think all that are willing to offer more blood, please do.
I will.
I will offer some simply because there are people in need.
Thank you.
Hands up.
For people in need, will Lancaster offer blood?
Lancaster will abstain for this moment.
So I see Doldrum, and I kind of like I said, he doesn't really feel, but he doesn't not feel. He definitely feels more confident in his ability to help people, and I think he was really inspired by everybody's words and actions, and he's piling through, and I'm hearing, I think he's hearing some kind of like rumbling and stuff, but he just keeps piling through. I mean, he's made of rock, right? What could go wrong?
A harder rock smashes him.
That's sad. Doldrum was like my pet.
I think he'll be safe as he has Letitia's watching over him.
Indeed.
That's true. Well, Doldrum keeps kind of scurrying away at stuff, and I don't see any more like the strange markings or anything like that. But it's hard to tell because it's really dark in here, and I don't do the kind of magic to make light and stuff.
Am I there? Like, are we?
You're talking to all of us through a magic mirror, but if you wanted to talk directly to Doldrum, I'm sort of like a medium for that. So if you wanted to do a spell on him or something like that, as long as it was through the magic mirror, it would probably work.
I unfortunately do not have that power if I'm not literally in the
Doesn't Doldrum still have that crystal of mine?
Doldrum
and
and
time in the Dragon Cave.
I'll ask him, hey Doldrum, do you still have the pretty shiny crystal? That's weird. He's reaching into his own brain. Like, reaching into his own brain. But he pulled out a crystal and it's producing light, so now we can see things. Great, okay. So he's looking around. Yeah, he's looking around and he's still hearing some cries for help. Those seem to be coming over to the right, and then there seems to be some other kind of glow coming to the left. Like, there's two paths, both of them are kind of blocked. It wouldn't be a problem for him to clear them out, but there's like a path to the right where we're hearing help, and then there's a path to the left that looks kind of gold.
Doldrum, go towards the people who need help.
Is that what everyone wants to do? Help over money?
Yes, please.
Doldrum, split yourself in half and go both.
he feels really confused, Your Majesty.
I
Alright.
say we should help.
Doldrum, go to the left. Let's send some other golems to the left.
Okay, so the other golems, we don't have enough power to really...
Cheers.
Sorry, we gotta pick. We don't have enough power to do both.
Alright, let's save the people.
Alright. Your Majesty, I know that you wouldn't be mean to people.
I have a good idea. How about we consult the cards and see what they say?
I can.
Okay, sure. Sure.
Hang on, I'm just reaching for them.
I knew you'd have them handy.
Always. I have several decks of cards. Okay. Dear cards, guided by my hopes and dreams and my desire for my husband to live, should we go help the people, or should we go for money on the other side of the cave? Because I know you're going to tell me the right thing, because I know that King Raphael is not really a jerk, and that he really cares about all his people.
That I do.
Okay.
Question.
Yes.
Mine.
Yes.
Who's the owner of this mine,
Our kingdom.
or kingdom in general?
Yes.
All
It's
right.
it's like a kingdom-owned property.
So to say that this is one of King Raphael's personal mines, then do we have any idea of the kind of workers we've had in here? Because I know we have our less desirables and our actual citizens in some cases.
You're asking who works in here? Or who's
Yes.
been in here recently? Well, the cards just answered one of your questions. So, yes, the cards are always the best way to find this information. So I did a past, present, future reading for the situation at the mine and where we should go. And, well, the past card is the Wanderer reversed. And I'm feeling like that's saying that maybe somebody did not intend to do anything bad to the mine, but they caused this anyway because of something they did. So somebody was really being more of like an explorer or something like that, and maybe that caused the mine to collapse.
So perhaps
An adventure or something that happened maybe somewhere else in Cambria even. I mean, there's a lot of nature back here, and we've been having those shifting earthquake things. And then the present is the Page of Arrows and the Wren, and I think it's suggesting that we're resilient but kind of innocent, like we're missing like a big clue about what's going on here, and we're kind of wandering through missing something, like we're walking past something.
Oh.
No, that's so mean, King Raphael. You need to...
I'm just kidding.
Okay, so the future card is really important. So it's the Great Bear, but it's upside down. And it's actually even upon what looks like not just a cave or a mine, but almost like a stone altar, kind of like the kind we use for Letitius. But it's reversed. So instead of going up to somebody like maybe Letitius and expecting something nice, it's kind of like it's twisted. It's like something bad might happen. So given this, I would advise maybe we do something nice and save people instead of going for money right away, when we can always go back and get more money.
I can agree with this.
Okay, so...
Saving people would help.
Yeah, so, Your Majesty, as much as I like shiny gems, I think we really need to go to the right here.
I agree. The cards have spoken.
And we also missed stuff. Like, we missed something, but, I mean, looking through Doldrum's eyes, I don't see anything else, so we'll keep going. And this future card, though, really does concern me, that we've, like, awoken something, or, I don't know, or that something big and powerful is not gonna come forth the way we think it is. But anyway, Doldrum is clearing out. He's already clearing out the rocks to go to the right and to move forward towards the people who are injured. There's a lot more rocks in the way. You see some gems and gold and stuff in the rocks, but it's not like one of our the big deposits that we usually mine. So, there's stuff on the way, but this area has already been sort of cleared out. He's looking around as he goes, and he hears more of the screams, and I'm just going to assume that everybody's objective is to rescue whoever's in need of help, right?
Correct.
Yes.
Okay, so I have him just going forward towards whatever he can to rescue these people, and he's uncovering rocks, and he starts to get really nice and really gentle again about how he moves the rocks. And there's a small boy that he uncovers, and Doldrum, you got to be careful with children. They're fragile. They're not rocks.
Why is a child down here?
Everyone is permitted to work.
Permitted or forced?
Permitted. It's for the sake of the kingdom.
Of course, children are given permission to work in mines in Ardmore.
Do children not till your fields? Grow your food?
I think
It's a heck of a lot safer.
Is it?
Yes.
Excuse me, while we're arguing, there are people in trouble. We should really help them.
Doldrum, you need to be gentler with this child.
does
What is
he
the child like?
appear harmed? Does he appear?
Doldrum is really carefully removing the rocks from the child, and it seems like, how normally your leg is kind of straight?
Oh my!
It seems almost like someone snapped it like a twig, and he's hurting, and he's crying out. He's hurting. He needs a healer.
I don't have a whole lot of healing power, especially through mirror, but I can certainly do whatever I can.
Maybe you could say some words and make him feel a little safer. Doldrum will repeat what you say to the child, so just say directly whatever you want to say.
We'll see if it'll work through the magic mirror. I call upon you, Lord Lucent, please hear my prayers. There is an innocent in danger, and I beg you to use your healing guiding light to soothe this child, if any way possible, perhaps physical pain or mental anguish.
So, Doldrum said your words, just as you did. He kind of actually has this cool ability where, if you're doing that, he can even sound kind of like you, not entirely like you, but kind of like you, a little nicer. And the child, he still definitely has his leg snapped in half, but he's not crying or upset or anything. Doldrum's kind of holding him up like this, and I don't know what to tell him to do.
Is Doldrum slowing down?
Doldrum is now standing still, just holding this child.
Okay. How long would it take for us to have him haul him back out of the mine?
Not very long. He could take him back and maybe the other golems can do stuff outside of the mine. It's just we can't too extensively use them, or it takes too much energy. So, if you wanted to bring the child to a healer, Doldrum could take him to one of the other golems, and then we could bring him to a healer.
Why don't we heal him and send him on his way and continue our journey? I think that what we should do for now is there might be more people who need help further down. So if we could just bring him back out of the mine and then leave him where he's safe, and then we might be able to go back down and see if anyone else needs help.
Well, the child's saying something. The child's saying something. I have to go back to work.
Child, You are injured. There's absolutely no way you can go back to work.
He's like really determined to go back to work. He can't even stand up. This is really sad.
Doldrum, can you take some dirt and cover his leg with it?
Why would you do that? This is me asking, not Doldrum.
Well, the dirt of the mine.
We're going to pray to Letitia's.
Oh.
The dirt of the mine would work as a bind and bind the bone back together and make it solid again.
Doldrum very carefully lowers the child onto the ground. He clears away some more rock. He's clearing away the rocks first, and he lowers the child there, and he does what you ask and covers the kid's leg with dirt and kind of waits for further instruction.
So we will ask Letitius to mend this child's leg as he has helped us in our minds and for our kingdom. So we ask you, Letitius, please make this child's leg whole again.
All of the dirt is kind of like stirring and disturbed, and it looks kind of strange and twitchy, but the kid's still not crying or anything. He still seems calmed by the words concerning the other god. And suddenly his leg seems straight. Doldrum is gently unburying his leg, and it seems to be completely okay. And the kid says, "Do you want me to go back to work?"
No, you're done for the day. This is the King of Ardmore. I command you to come to the Golden Citadel and find me.
Okay, the kid nods his head, and he kind of pats Doldrum on the rock arm, and then runs out of the mine safely. Like he's running. He's completely fine. And he's following your orders, coming to the Citadel. So he seems kind of hungry. He might stop and get some food before he comes to see you. But he should be there in a few hours.
Perhaps we should set up a field hospital right outside.
And there are still people crying and stuff in there. So Doldrum, he knows that this is what you want to do. He gets right back to work. He uncovers some more people in the mines. One of them appears to be... some of them are not injured. One of them appears to be a woman who is dressed like the king from Halfarian. Only ragged. Almost like she started maybe working in the mines, and then her clothes kind of got worn away over time.
Can you ask Doldrum to ask her what her name is?
Doldrum asks, and she's responding, and she says, "My name is Alara of Halfarian. Send me home."
Alara of Halfarian, I would send you home, but before you go, can you tell us what happened here? Did you see anything?
There was an earthquake or movements of the earth, and then everything fell, and I think I've been in here for years.
For years?
Yeah, so the earthquake happened not long ago, but I haven't seen the sun in so long.
Madam, how did you come to be here?
I miss home. I don't even know if it was a trade or a raid or what, but this is my sentence.
You were forcibly removed from your home, is what you're saying to me.
I'm not supposed to talk about that anymore.
Madam, I am the Chancellor of Ardmore, and by the power invested in me from the people, I free you from your bond of labor. Return home to your kin.
You may come back to the lands of Halfaria. Come, we will greet you at the Citadel and find out what did befall you.
Doldrum is repeating all of these words to her, and she's not hesitating. She basically is happy to hear this and runs out of the mine. There are a couple other people there who, once Doldrum is uncovering them, they seem like they're okay to get back up, and they're asking if they should continue working or if they should leave.
Take a break. Go outside and help the wounded. Get some food.
Reinforce the entrance.
Yes.
Okay, these workers seem to be in better condition than the other ones. And they also go towards the back to the front of the mine. It seems that this path on the right has come mostly to an end. Looking at it with the stone, Doldrum can see there's like some kind of flat gold surface in the wall. But it doesn't look like something that was being mined. It just looks like a flat, like a, almost like a plate in the wall. And then also where the path had forked, you know that to the left, we all know that there's likely gold and jewels and stuff there. So we can examine this plate further, or we can just go back for some other gems.
I'll leave it up to everyone else.
Let's examine the plate.
Yes, I agree.
Very
Yes,
unnatural.
Okay.
Demetrius, do you have an opinion?
I believe examining this plate may let us know more about what may have transpired. It could have been one of the tremors that was felt a few months ago. It also could have been from when Wyndon utilized their throne ability and caused a fissure on your lands. It might be a recourse from that.
Doldrum is going up to the plate, and he's holding up his light to the plate and looking at it, and there's he can't see a lot about it, and he does the thing where he takes his Doldrum hand and goes like this against it, but it's hard for him to do because his hands are made of rocks, so he's just kind of scratching against rocks and gold plates. Eventually he uncovers that it is in fact a plate, like not even just like a plate, but like a serving dish like you would have in your citadel. And he wants to know if you want him to actually remove it from the wall.
Sure.
Okay, Doldrum carefully scrapes away the rock around this plate, takes the plate out, and it seems that you are only looking at the bottom edge of the plate. So when Doldrum is turning it over, and I'm kind of like looking through his eyes and looking at this plate, it seems to be that he's staring into basically a mirror. But it's a small mirror, so it's almost like the one I'm using to look at all of you. And there doesn't seem to be anybody on the other side.
Very interesting.
Let's hold on to it for now.
Put it off to the side. We don't want to damage it in the course of our explorations.
I agree.
Okay, Doldrum leaves the plate on the ground. He kind of just drops it, because he's Doldrum. He's not the most delicate person in the world. He's a golem. So it makes this noise, like, that kind of echoes throughout the cavern, or through the mine. And, yeah, there's an indentation left where he took the plate out. It might be soft rock, it might be mud, it might be hard rock. We don't know. We could look at it, or we could go back to get the sure thing. The money that we all know is on the other side.
Have Doldrum take a sample.
Okay, Doldrum reaches out, and he's going to do like he's done in the past when he's come back to you with samples of just kind of like absorbing them. He reaches out to take a sample, but when he puts his hand there, I see his hand like going through, and it's soft mud, and he just pushes through, and on the other side of it is like a silvery kind of light, I would describe it.
I say we have Doldrum go through and see what's behind this. What is the light in here?
Doldrum saying, this is silver, this is not gold, this is silver, this is not everyone's light. I don't understand what he's saying. But Doldrum can go through. He's pushing through all of the stuff, all of the mud and everything like that, and he's climbing through. And when he walks through, he finds something that's really familiar to some of us, which is a bigger cavern that opens up and shows these scales, like weighted scales. Like I have like these. I actually have a model of the ones that I'm talking about, like these.
Oh, for measurement.
Yeah, like measurement scales. And these are ones from Ardmore. They've got but yeah, they're like measurement scales. And they have at their foot the symbol of, like the axe symbol of Letitius.
Wonderful.
This could be very interesting.
Was this noted before in your minds?
I don't know anything about our mines.
I have not seen this object before in the mines.
From time to time,
Seems like
something like this.
King Raphael told me I shouldn't go exploring in the mines.
With good reason.
it
Is
seems
there anything around these scales?
No, it's just like, it looks kind of like this, only they're silver. And it's got that pickaxe on the bottom. And they're not moving or anything like that. There's nothing else there. They're
Well, I am not of the religion. Should we move this?
Is it on some kind of altar?
yes, it's on like a little platform. It looks like, it's looking like something you've seen before, Colin.
I advise against moving this.
Do we want to put something in it?
Where's our priestess? What do you think we should put in this? What do you think that our god would require that we know of so far?
I'm guessing you're going to say blood. I'm not going to do it, but that's what I'm guessing you're going for. Really does not make me feel any better about your god.
I can't wait until you meet him.
That'll be an interesting dinner party. Would you dance? I have to ask. Would you dance with Doldrum? Just keep. Yes, just stand there, Doldrum. Would you dance with the incarnation of Letitius if he showed up at the Ardmore Ball next time we have one?
No.
That's a good question. My instinct is to say no, but at the same time, since I think it's the false god, why not?
I mean,
Just so I can tell him.
how often does one get to dance with a so-called divinity? It could be a most fun experience. He could have 2 left feet.
Yes, but I don't really want to humor him either.
Oh, they're all needing to be human.
Just feel the child's leg. Right,
That's
we've
true.
seen more from him in these brief few minutes than any other god.
Yes, but I find this all very questionable, especially since your cards have already shown us that whatever we're expecting to find might not be all of that good. So for all I know, this is an evil entity here who is in control of this dominion.
Letitius, maybe.
Imperative that we rob them.
Letitia's may be king under the mountain, but he's not the only lord.
Well, right now, Doldrum is wanting to know what to do and what, if anything, he should put into this. I know that his arms feel kind of heavy, so I feel like he might have some of the Shadow's samples within him. And so there are various things that he could probably put into the scales. There are obviously, he could probably find, this is really gross. I hate this part of our religion. He could probably find some bodies, whether they're sacrifices or just people who died in the mine, and he could probably put them in the scales.
Can we send blood through the mirror?
Can we send what?
Blood through the mirror?
Yes.
I would like to put some of my blood in the scale. Since I have a close relationship with our god Letitius, I'm wondering if this would make any difference.
Give it a try. Alright, blood through the mirror. Doldrum receives the blood through the mirror. It seems like he's taking a minute to react, but he's moving his hand over one of the scales, and out of the scale comes your blood, and it looks like it's looking to me like it's doing this kind of thing. It's like super heavily weighing down one side, even though there's only a few drops there.
Now we need non-Ardmorian blood for the other side.
I agree. Although I would hate to ask you to do this if you don't want to.
I think Lancaster will have to decline on that one.
Lancaster declines.
I'll do it.
Dangerous? You will.
Are you certain, prophetess?
I'll do
I
it.
do not think this is a wise course of action.
I'm hopeful that my own power will help counteract anything evil.
I mean, it does seem like a good idea if we're going for a balance here. Not that I think Colin's evil, usually.
A priest and a priestess.
Yeah.
Seems like they should.
I'll do it.
Alright, your blood through the mirror. I see Doldrum moving over to the other scale, and he opens his hand again. Out falls some blood, and it's completely even. And there's more rumbling, like an earthquake again.
How much rumbling?
A little at first, but it's getting louder. I mean, I'm in Ardmore right now, and I don't feel it from where I am. But it's rumbling louder and louder, and I see the scales actually sinking down into the altar.
Oh, dear.
He's coming.
I mean, it's Letitius, so it'll be fine, right?
You say it's Letitius, it could be something else.
This happens all the time.
This is very Ardmore.
This isn't anything.
I think we're gonna be okay. I mean, it seems really like something Letitius would do. So the scales sink down, and I'm looking at the floor, just kind of covers over it, and that's it. Like this room appears to be mostly empty. Wow. The walls look different now, though. They look brilliant and beautiful, and they're covered in gems.
Very Ardmore. That means Letitius was pleased.
And also, it's not just covered in gems. You know, like when we're looking at all our resources and the different gems we have, and they're all different colors together. That's what it looks like. It's not like only red gems or anything like that. It's like all of the gems.
So are they falling or?
No, they're covering the walls now.
Feeling. Okay.
A rare find.
Do we hear?
What was the question?
Do we hear any more?
Nothing. Just a rare find indeed.
Mm.
Yes, although not so rare in this country.
But perhaps, considering how this came about, half should go to the prophetess.
I would agree.
I am certainly willing to split this with our fellow Lancasters.
Well, I did not give my blood, so I will not try to claim.
I know, but you know, your princess is our queen, and I appreciate your help, and I think that everybody deserves to receive something. So,
I mean,
if we are indeed collecting, you're here contributing as well. So,
I don't want to make King Raphael mad. I might. I'm sorry, Your Majesty, but there was also that woman who was from Halfarian, who, from what I could tell, was working and maybe not getting paid. Maybe we could give her some of the money?
I agree.
I agree. That would be the right thing to do.
It's only just.
I mean, would that maybe prevent further conflict?
this is not the time to discuss this. Do you agree, my king?
It will be good to have some of that wealth back, and we will give it to her.
We'll send her back.
So she can start her life anew for years that she had taken away from her in your minds.
I agree.
Alright, so the wealth is going to be divided up. Halfarian, Lancaster, and of course Ardmore. Alright, well, we've discovered this. Obviously, it will take a separate effort to come in and excavate the gems.
Do we hear any more cries for help?
None, but it's really hard to kind of explain things through Doldrum because he doesn't experience things the way we do, like he's made of rocks. But from what I can tell, the air is stale and full of like dust, but it also smells really gross. Like, you know how when you eat dinner and then you leave it out too long? Kind of like that.
Like rock.
Yeah, like that.
Food never wastes in Alfaria, so I'm not familiar with that smell.
Yeah, who leaves out their dinner?
I mean, we're rich in Ardmore, so occasionally I don't maybe eat all of my food. So,
In any case.
anyway, I mean, we can go back. It looks like really the only other path besides leaving is to go back to the place where we assume there's gold. So,
This sort of
so Doldrum's heading back out that way. You know, he's stepping on some crunchy stuff as he walks. A sample? Okay. A sample of the crunchy stuff?
What is the... can he look down to see what that crunchy stuff may be?
Yeah, it's a combination of stuff. It's rocks, but it also looks like bones and like things like wheelbarrows and stuff made out of wood and some pickaxes.
mine stuff then.
Yeah, mine stuff basically, and people who used to be people.
While he's in here, it might be best if he retrieves one of the pickaxes in case he needs it.
Doldrum, he has trouble gripping one of the pickaxes, but he does, and he's carrying that with him, and, you know, he's careful to make sure that he's not hurting anybody, but he basically he's stepping over a lot of. It's hard to watch. He's going over. Doldrum's walking over into the other area that looked gold and shiny, and he heads into that chamber, and it looks very typical for an Ardmore mine. Rock walls with veins of gold in the mine, and from what I know, this mine is about 2 years old, and it looks like they dug straight ahead instead of digging into the veins that were in this mine, because for like a regular mine somewhere else in the world, this would be a large vein of gold, but for an Ardmore mine, it's kind of like not. It just sort of leads to the bigger part. So, Doldrum just kind of keeps walking and following this gold vein down, down the hall. There's still rocks everywhere. There's nobody else calling out for help. And then there's that rumbling noise again.
Louder than last time?
Louder than last time.
I'm sure it's just a dragon shifting in sleep like last time.
A dragon shifting in their sleep like last time? What time? Do you have dragons in your lands?
No, not here.
I mean, I don't think we have dragons here.
I've never heard of such things.
The dragon in the mine? That's unheard of.
Impossible.
I've never heard of such a thing.
I'm hearing something right now through Doldrum. The sounds of... Almost sounds like when we were at the Citadel of Mirrors and we all had a lot of mead and we were celebrating. It sounds like...
Talking?
Yeah, talking and celebration and dancing and all those sounds.
Is it coming from all around us or above us?
It's coming from further down the hall or further down the corridor of the mine that Doldrum is walking down.
So you have people partying in collapsed mines. How Ardmorian.
Indeed.
I mean, I didn't know about any of this. Do we want to go talk?
I will be invited.
Let's go crash the party.
Yeah, let's see what they're up to. Lucky bandits.
All right. Doldrum's walking on.
You're invited.
What did you say? Did you tell how
Don't
fast?
worry, Nefarians, you're invited.
So,
Rude.
so Doldrum is walking down the corridor like he does, and the sounds. Excuse me, the sounds are still there. And he keeps going down the hall. Eventually, it opens up into like a small room that would be large enough to maybe have a party, but there's no one there. What you do see are torches lit. There's food that's out, not rotten food. This is like all. It looks like somebody was just kind of having a very rudimentary party, like a pig on a spit kind of thing. And they just got up and left. There's alcohol in the cups. There's, there's not music in the air, but it almost feels like there was. There's smoke in the air from the fire. And, like, most of the food hasn't been eaten or anything.
How long ago did this collapse take place?
The mine collapse took place less than 2 days ago.
And yet it looks like a freshly left party is here?
Yes, it looks like somebody was right here, like just now.
This place makes me very uncomfortable. I don't like the feeling here.
Are the tablecloths nice?
There are no tablecloths. There are some furs and skins. Not like nicely tanned and, cured furs or anything like that. There are some rags and stuff on the floor that look very kind of almost threadbare, but nothing nice. And then all of the other things that I described, the food still cooking and everything.
Is there? I'm assuming there's another way out on the other side, or some door.
Yeah, there's another door. It's completely dark. There are no more sounds or anything like that.
Let's go further in. Let's go through that door.
Okay, Doldrum keeps walking through the door, and there are a couple things on the floor. He's stepping on more crunchy stuff, but it's like smaller. And when he looks down at it, it looks like bones, but they're not like people bones. It's like, like a turkey leg that still had the bone in it. There's still meat on it that it just snapped when he stepped on it. So it looks like evidence of somebody having eaten here and like kind of run away. Doldrum wants to know if he should run after whatever this was.
I think so. Everyone else?
Pursue whatever our new guest is.
Yes, let it roosting in your minds, I'm sure. I think that Doldrum has the strength and power to deal with this.
Doldrum, he's kind of running. The thing about Doldrum is he's good at what he does, but he's not quiet. So you hear him coming. I mean, Doldrum's just going to be loud. And he kind of crashes through this corridor, even scrapes against the wall sometimes, pushes things out of the way, and Doldrum certainly makes a racket, and he's going jogged like a quarter mile, and he's not finding anything or anyone. There are a couple other doors and corridors and stuff like that, but there's nothing of consequence or significance. There are things on the walls though that he sees with this little glowy crystal thing. They look almost like drawings that a younger Ardmorian might draw, but they're not child height. They're adult height.
And what does a younger Ardmorian draw?
Oh, things like money and horses, and boats, and the Citadel, and roses and gems, and people.
This hallway he's running down, it's unlit?
It's unlit except for the stone, the glowing stone that he's carrying.
And yet the party room had torches that were freshly lit.
Yeah, it was fully ablaze, in terms of lighting. It wasn't on fire, but it had the spit, it had torches in the ground, and
Braziers.
Yeah. Yeah, he's hearing some sounds that could be maybe like a bat or something scurrying around down there, any kind of creature, but he's not hearing a party anymore, that's for sure.
Colin, might you have some spell that would let us track things in the mind?
Can Doldrum hear me?
Doldrum can hear you.
Doldrum, if you hear my words, I ask of you, please use your eyes and please use your ears to let us hear and see what you hear and see. Could there be anything that we could be seeking? By the power of Letitia, let it be.
Doldrum's eyes, I think they're glowy. Now his eyes are almost like torches, and he can see a lot better in here. And as he looks around, it's not just a couple of drawings on the walls he sees, but lots of them. And most of the drawings, they seem like stick figures of people, and stuff like that. One of them looks like somebody hunting something. One of them looks like somebody hunting a... I don't even know how to describe this thing because I've never seen anything like it. A big creature with fur on it.
Would you describe it as a draconian yeti?
A what?
Draconian yeti?
I've heard of creatures that are in Helfaria. Maybe they're called yars.
Well,
Maybe bears.
this thing looks like... This thing looks kind of like, it's big, and it looks like it's, I don't want to say fluffy, because it doesn't look cuddly. It looks mean.
Looks more ferocious.
More ferocious, and maybe, like, the tail looks a little more, almost like a dragon, but it's mostly, like, furry.
Very interesting.
As I'm looking at the picture he's looking at, that does look like the one that something similar to the one we uncovered. Maybe this is not the first event that a cross between our Yetis in the north and the Draconian bloodline in the south has happened.
Doldrum says he's really sorry because he just stepped on something and he's looking down and it looks like there's bones, but they don't seem to be recent ones, and they seem to be pretty small.
Take a sample.
Sounds like Caricom to me.
Yeah.
Doldrum absorbs the sample.
Do they seem to be draconian in nature or human?
They seem to be human, and there's some like more fur and stuff around it. Not like the same fur that the what's it called? Not the same fur that was in the big warm room, but for different kinds of fur. Like the kind you get on trade, like when the trade routes are open and Ardmore and Halfarian aren't being jerks to one another, and there's a lot of trade, and you get those nice furs, like that kind of fur.
So, like, really good Elfarian skins.
Yes, like that.
Okay.
It's most likely some of our reindeer, or we have a lot of fur trappers in the north. That's one of our main points of trade.
Your fur as well.
So this could be someone who acquired our furs, or it could be someone who was wearing the furs when they were forcibly, relocated there to work like the other Halfarian we've already found.
I'm going to look at the cards and see if I can get anything out of this about them, and see what we should do next. Because this mine is looking pretty, like, there's not much else to explore here, and that has me very confused.
And we've definitely not seen our party goers.
No, and the mine is also, while the collapse only happened recently, we know from the Halfarian woman that we freed that she's been working here, she said, for years. So, and as far as I know, this mine has been open for years. So it's really strange that there are only a couple of rooms in here. So I don't know if we're missing something, if Doldrum didn't see something, but I'm going to take a peek at the cards again. Kind of interesting, once again, for the first card, despite the fact that I've been shuffling them, I've got the Wanderer reversed. So it's like somebody did something by accident that caused all this. I still don't know what that is, but the cards want us to know that. So I got the reverse. Six of Stones, exploitation reversed, which could very well describe our act in releasing some of the workers from the mine. And then...
We released slaves from the mine.
And then there's Ace of Stones, which is the foundation of life. So something old, but also new, is here. And this is a card about fertility. This is a card about spirituality as well. This is a card about the connection between the earth and people, and between beings like golems and people, anything earthy and people, gems, people. But I would suggest there's a spiritual component to this that we're not seeing. Doldrum is he's just kind of relaxing in this room, and I'm actually going to leave him there. I can always come back to Doldrum. It might require more blood, but I'm gonna kind of pull away from Doldrum for a minute, because it's really hard to focus on talking to you while Doldrum thinks about things like stepping on bones. So I'm pulling back from Doldrum, and this is a suggestion that might not work, but it's the cards tell me what the cards tell me. I'm thinking, again, that there's a really spiritual component to this. And what I am going to suggest is that we divide up into a couple different teams. And this is going to be a very tough thing to ask, because I know that Letitius and Lucent may not be the best of friends. But I'm thinking if we can do some spiritual searching, and what we could find in a spiritual capacity when we speak to our respective gods, that we might be able to get a little bit more in terms of what is lurking in that mine, why it's like empty, what the deal was with the scales. Maybe we could find more information like that. In terms of people who are not of the more religious, persuasion, I think it might take how do I put this, like a tougher hand to do what needs to be done with Doldrum. And Doldrum is made of rock. I am a gentle person. I can't make him hurt people, and I can't make him punch through stuff. And I think that there's another way to do it. There's a missing piece. There's another exploration. Let me look at the cards. They want to say something. And this deck is a lot stronger than the other one I use. It wants to tell me something about the bones. And it is. It's saying... I got everything reversed. It's telling me that there's some disempowerment happening within the mines. It's telling me that the touch that I'm using is too graceful, which I already know. And, it's telling me that terrible things are going to happen if we don't solve what's going on here. Clarification card. It's telling me to look at tradition, very specific tradition. I mean, he's holding a snake. Like, he's telling me to look at inwardly about Letitius. But I think we should take a two-pronged approach. I think one group should spiritually consider what we have going on here. Should reach out to more than one god, work together, and find out what's going on. And I think another group could even go on a physical expedition, whether you want to come into the mine or whether you wish to look into these details elsewhere. There are obviously some Helfarian type furs, and there is that woman who has been sent home. You could question her. You could go into an investigation in Helfarian, or you could physically go into the mine if you want, because some of us are in Ardmore.
We're in the Endwall Mountains.
Mm-hmm.
I will grab my sword and shield. They're ready to head down, since I live in the Endwall Mountains.
So you're going to go in?
I will be ready to go, yeah.
All right, so you're going to lead this party. So the party that actually physically explores the mines. Who else would like to go with our Chancellor?
Will it be all right with you, Lancaster, if I, with my mages, teleport in? It will be draining on them, but they'll be able to bring me in.
Lancaster believes that probably is the best solution, and I will join you as well.
Well,
All right, is anybody going to go onto the physical expedition of the mines? You'll be able to see you'll be able to see Doldrum once you're in there.
Yeah.
I will go.
All right.
no, that's what we were talking about. Yes, I will go in.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Thank you all for your bravery.
All right, and to those of you who are not going, I understand. I assume you will go on a spiritual expedition of the mines.
Yes,
Yes.
I do think it would be a good idea for me and Itanza to both work together, and possibly King Raphael,
Mhm.
to possibly find a solution to this matter and see if we can figure out what is truly going on here.
Okay. Is everybody on one of the two teams?
Yes.
All right. I'm going to take the time to regain my strength so that I can again assume a connection with Doldrum when we get there. And there is some more information that will be provided to you. Off game, we're coming up to about our break time, so this is how it's going to work. For those of you who are in the last mission, it's really super similar. I'm going to provide a little bit more information to you out of game in Discord, but we have two groups. One of them is going to go on a spiritual journey to try and uncover some more information. One of them is physically going into the mines to look at stuff. So the way that it worked last time, and it's going to work the same way here, is that you actually all work together out of game to come up with a collaborative story about what it is you found. I'm going to drop a few more clues that Corinna would absolutely not have been aware of that are facts, and then you can kind of build your story around that. And then we're going to reconvene after that. You can use the Discord chat to talk about it. You can use this Google Hangout to talk about it if one team wants to take one team wants to take the other. And then we're going to reconvene and go from there. There is, I want to say, like a big reveal that I am going to kind of work towards. But how we get there is going to largely depend upon this like spiritual component and this physical component. So I'm going to toss some more information into Discord in just a second, and you need to divide up into those two groups, decide who wants to talk about what where, and come up with it. We are also up at our break time, which means this is a good time to use the bathroom, get some food, that kind of thing. I'm going to take a break because my voice is like going, even though I keep drinking water. But that is what we can use this time for. So I will pop the information into Discord.
How long for the break? 10 minutes?
Yeah, last time we tried for 15, but it was more like 20, 25 because we wanted to take a break and discuss what happened. So let's go more towards like 20, and I'll put that up on the message. Any other questions? I think...
So,
Go
We
ahead.
have like 7 people, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, so 4 and 3.
we're going to decide what actually happens together, and then we'll act it out when we come back.
Yeah, you're going to decide what happens together, and then you're going to tell us what happened on your journey. The people who were in the last mission can kind of help you out because they did this. Basically, the one group discovered a draconian yeti, and they described what happened. They were like, okay, we went up to the fissure, we saw that there was steam, we went in and we spoke to it. So they narrated it as though they went on the adventure together, and this is what happened. It's kind of like a different way to break up the adventure and make it a little bit more collaborative. And then once we come back, those pieces are going to lead us into the big thing that happens at the end. And I don't want to say what it is because it's fun and surprising. And that's kind of where we're going from there. So,
I guess we'll decide here, for everyone that's on the physical mission, I guess, did you want to use the LARP general chat in Discord?
Yeah, sure. Then.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, cool. So the spiritual discussion can just stay on Google Hangouts and talk about it here, and then we'll reconvene. I am going to drop some info in Discord. I'm typing on my phone, so it's going to be slow, but go ahead and keep an eye on that. So I'm going to go off cam for a few minutes while I get my voice back and type all this to you, but I'll be back, and then we'll resume from there. And again, before you start talking about all this, feel free to take some time and take a bathroom break or whatever you need.
Are you two there? I can't see you, so I don't know if you're there.
Hey, can you see me?
Okay, I can see you.
So Raphael stepped away for a sec. Do you have Google Hangouts?
A separate Google Hangouts?
Well, I don't have the thing to chat it. He does, but I'm waiting for him to get back. So give me just
that, or do you mean Facebook works too? If you want to send me a Facebook message and do like a thread,
okay.
That's actually what we did last time.
Okay, give me just a sec.
No rush. Take your time.
Get back up with you, okay?
Yeah.
Marquise, are you on this chat or on the gonna be going on the physical mission?
I'm gonna be on the physical one.
Okay, we're actually on the chat for the ranger report. Not the ranger reports. The general chat right now. For the ranger. So if you could come in, that we'll let you know, see what you think, and then that's what we're gonna be doing.
You're on the voice chat?
Yeah, we're on the general voice chat.
Gotcha. Hello?
Hey.
Yo. Oh my gosh, my voice is, I'm drinking water. I'll say that, I'm drinking water. Yeah, I'm alright, but it's a struggle. I'm not used to doing something that takes this long. Yeah. I know that struggle. Yeah, this one involves a lot more narration than the other one.
Hello?
I'm here.
Alright, so what I'm thinking is we conduct the two rituals. When you conduct your ritual, it shows you ancient people worshipping Lucent as the sun god, like you said, because at that point they didn't know a name.
Right.
When he conducts the one for
Letitious.
I always want to call it Letitia,
That's her nickname.
it shows our god being worshipped by ancient people too. So what both of the gods show us, though, in the vision, is that they're working to trap and imprison things, and imprison the dark god, of course, that we're going to fight.
Yeah, that works. I was just confused with when you said having rituals showing the worship of other gods. I didn't know if you meant like we were performing the rituals. But if it's to receive visions showing how people worship, yeah, that's cool. I'm cool with that.
So the other thing that I'd like to do is, because we're making two circles, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so you're running one circle, he's running one circle. I'd like to be, and possibly where the circles overconnect.
Sure.
So that way I can turn into a follower of Lucent too.
Sure. I was trying to figure out how to do, with the whole we're not technically physically there, but I'm sure I could just magically get there, and we could just do it. So that you're literally there. That's what I was like. If we combine the circles, we can just both like show each other what the circle is, and then both do it. But it's easier. I just hop over.
And it gives you a chance to go to the Golden Citadel too.
Yes.
Sure. The king did it. Why can't I?
Right.
He came over, and I just went the other way.
So, is there anything else that you want to be in there?
I guess we should decide what the god was that they trapped.
Do we want to decide, like, I'm thinking darkness seems to be a theme, and maybe he gets imprisoned in the mirrors and he's the one who gets let out.
I don't. Do you think that that's too big? Like, do you think that like that's going to impact if they already have planned what came out?
Yeah.
Only because she had mentioned, that the whatever happens right after we do this is like a big reveal. So I guess we should ask her if we get to pick, or if she's picking.
That makes sense.
Let me just send her and see if she answers.
Hey, yo, I'm totally here. I was only partially paying attention to the conversation, though.
Oh, okay.
What did you need to know?
Oh, so the god that predates, like Ardmore and everything, do we pick that, or is that part of the big reveal? Like you have this planned already, whoever this is?
There is no reveal related to that.
Okay,
so
pick.
Yeah, you can pick there. I can't. I don't know if we can go full scale about like all these other gods and stuff, but we can definitely. I mean, I'm definitely leaning towards the relationships between the various gods, and honestly, you guys probably know more about that lore than I do, playing priestess characters. So totally take it in that direction. That's good. Yeah, my thing is religious related, but that's not gonna mess with what I have planned.
Okay. So we're just trying to figure out like what was worshipped before. And I mean, when we say that people worshipped other gods, that's not to say that they all existed.
Right,
It's just,
yeah.
Chris was saying how he kind of wanted like old gods, kind of druidic-y. So it's like, look, we have a god of the trees, we have a god of the water, we have a god for everything.
That is perfectly good. Definitely, that is good to go with. Yeah, I mean, Terry, I think you probably know a little bit where I'm going with finding other stuff in the caves, in terms of like finding other people. But I can't show all the people. You know what I'm saying? You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, I can show evidence of that. So, since you out of game know where that's going, feel free to point people in that direction. But I can't fully reveal things that won't come out until DT2.
So, we're talking about our running 2 rituals. It shows like our gods being worshipped in ancient times by indigenous peoples,
Mm-hmm.
and then our gods independently work together to like imprison something in the mirrors.
I like it.
Is it.
That's doable. Yep. Especially with all the other dark stuff was kind of running around. Yeah. That sounds good to me.
And then as we run these rituals, is it okay if we have the gods give us things?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. If you want, I can grant you specific things later, or like grant you things. If you want me to do it, I can. Or if you want to come up with an object or whatever, you can do that, and then I'll assign it value or ask Evan to approve and assign value.
Okay.
Yeah, that's totally good. I guess the other group is still waiting a little bit. Let's see.
Well, let's okay. So what did we decide that the god was that we're locking up?
Darkness, evil, death.
Just general darkness. Oh, that's fine with me. I just want to make sure I wasn't missing. Like, this is the god of, I don't know, Blackstone or something. You know.
We won't even name him. We'll just describe him like an essence of pure darkness and evil, and where he went, death followed. And the god of light, uses his power to imprison him in mirrors. And then Letitia, gets her blood sacrificed, and
Melanie, that's so sweet. He's making me cry. Oh my god. Sorry.
Okay. That sounds good.
Too late. Oh, I'm just gonna do it again in character, don't worry.
so do you want to narrate the scene of the ancient people and the sun god, and then Manny can do the scene with Letitia? and then I'll do the enslavement part where we trap the god.
Sure. So wait, sorry, I keep asking questions here. Are we doing the previous trapping, like when they did it previously, or are we trying to retrap?
We're showing a glimpse of the past where he gets trapped in the mirrors.
Okay, just making sure I'm on the same page.
I want to be on the same page too with you because I'm still a little confused. So we're showing that they work together to trap this dark thing, right?
You're just describing the ritual and the worship of Letitia in ancient times.
Tisha.
I'm going to talk about how he was trapped.
Okay.
It'll come together, I'm sure.
They will.
It'll be fine.
I have faith in us and the teacher.
We might not know what comes out of our mouth until we say it, but it'll be fine.
Tonight may bring many surprises. For all of us.
It'll be fine.
You are. Can you hear my crowd? Your costume has looked so amazing. I can't wait to see it in person.
Thanks. I just finished all my silver stuff for the most part today. I have to do a little bit more, but I'm basically done. I've had a lot of fun making these. They're going to be a blast, I think, to wear. And I already have some fabric for the summer that came that I was going to use, but it was just a little too lightweight. So not the time to wear that, I don't think. So
Yeah, I'm kind of worried about how that's going to, go along.
Yeah.
Nothing that I have is really warm, so I'm just going to hotel, bus, Dragon Thrones, and
Yeah.
back. Not a lot of outsideness.
Yeah. I was actually contemplating, how do I change attire? Like, for the ball, for example. Do I need to take it with me? I suppose there might only be one shuttle running, I don't know. But, what I'm wearing for the ball is not what I'm wearing, every day. So, do we have time to do, a wardrobe change?
Someone should probably tell Evan that we need, transport back to get changed for all that.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
that's a good point. That's a good point.
Just because I imagine a lot of people will.
Are you having more GM meetings, Tara?
I'm handling GM-related issues. But GM meetings, what do you mean? I'm gonna have a wrap-up with them about the mirror missions, and then the next meeting that I'll probably have with them won't be until, Thursday, before the game. But I imagine that all of the GMs will get another, phone meeting or something, yeah.
Oh.
I assume. I don't know. I'm just saying, if there's stuff you want to know, it's gonna be faster to go right to them, though.
Oh yeah, that's generally how it is.
Yeah, but in terms of all this stuff, because I'm getting questions about whether or not this stuff affects the game.
I hope so.
there are going to be items that are usable, but they're not going to be world changing, I guess I'd say. That's kind of the rule for what I can and can't do. I can't make stuff that changes the world unless they send it here. Oh, it looks like our other team is back. Hi, other team. What's going on? Cool. Let me.
Still not working.
Oh, that's sad. Especially since you look so creepy the other time. As
Yeah, I
usual.
lit some candles. I turned off all the
I
lights.
know. It was, my
I actually
my
put the makeup on this time.
my religious Letitia shawl is on backwards. Hang on. Do you like how religious Corinna got? And that's why she wears her. She changed her costuming. She's so. Corinna's adorable. I freaking love her. Okay. Okay. So are we all set with what we discussed before we go back in game?
Yep.
Okay. All right.
That's great. We're out of time.
All right. So, 3, 2, 1. Game on. So I understand we've gone on some journeys. We have a spiritual journey. We have a physical journey that people have gone on, and I've managed to regain some of my strength from what it took to kind of interface with Doldrum. Not that we can't do that more. I just needed kind of a break from that. Obviously, we'll get him out of the cave, or he can continue to go adventuring in there as we need. So let's start with our group that went on the spiritual journey. What did you discover?
So to do this, we brought over our esteemed guest, the priestess Tanza, over to Ardmore, and we set up 2 unique circles. I'm going to let the priestess describe hers and what she saw from that, and then our priest here to describe his.
What we did was both of us used somewhat similar ritual circles. I drew mine facing the Lachesis circle, and in the center I completed my ritual to attempt to summon prophetic visions, and I was successful. What I did see was the ancient worship of Lord Lucent, which actually predates Lucent himself. Lucent was previously worshipped as a sun god before he was named. So those who worshipped him used very shiny rocks, sometimes gems, diamonds, crystals, whatever, something that could reflect the light, and they performed prayers and songs to the sun on sunny days when all of the stones could reflect the light. And from that, I gained a little bit of information, but I will wait until my companion gets to explain what his was, and then we'll continue about what we found out.
Okay.
So, in return, I drew my circle facing the Lucent circle. And basically the images and the visions that I received from Lutetius was that he, again, was worshipped before. And he was considered a god of the mountain. As he is a god of the mine now, he was a god of the mountain, which is actually bigger than the mine. A lot of information was passed on to me. It was one of my most difficult times communicating with Lutetius. But I now have some, I guess you could say, some interesting knowledge and something that could really help us in this situation.
So I stood between the 2 circles, and the vision that I received was of, in one way, a god of pure light, fire, and just brightness. And in between that flashes of what I would consider Lutetius. And the 2 gods seem to be not jointly, not together, but in separate images, trapping something in the mirrors. Something that I can only describe as a dark shadow, and more than that, despair and death. And it was trapped in the mirrors. And as these visions came to be, we opened our eyes and all found that we had been bestowed with a crown.
What was the nature of this crown?
That is yet to be seen.
Excellent. Well, Is that all from the spiritual?
Yes, I think so.
There
Excellent.
is more, but we cannot speak of it as of now.
I
It's too
see.
difficult to put into words.
I see. Such is the nature of spiritual experiences, and I think that upon further examination, we can likely determine the properties of this crown that you found. So that seems like quite a spiritual journey. What about the team that did the physical expedition? What happened? I'm glad you're all safe.
Chancellor, would you like to tell him what happened?
He speaks with no words.
Yes, Chancellor, we are having difficulty hearing you. We're still unable to hear you. It seems that the Chancellor's mirror is having difficulty. He may have to exit and then return. It looks like he's working on it.
It looks like the mirrors are maybe blocking him from telling what they saw. Maybe some other force is doing it.
That's possible.
Maybe they don't want him to tell us.
Okay, can you hear me now?
There we go.
Yes. Hello. Welcome
Okay.
back, Chancellor.
Having a little bit of reflective issues recently. Sorry. Living in the Endwalls, I grabbed my sword and my shield, and I went right down to the mine, where Gareth the Shadow was already lurking, and King Idris, and shortly followed thereafter by teleportation. We decided that we would head down together, and I, this being my home, led the way. It felt only right. So what we discovered was that we were going along the way, looking to see if we could find anything in the party room, and we discovered there were some secret tunnels. So we decided it would be a good idea to follow this. And we followed the secret tunnel, and we came across some draconians wearing black, fighting a hideous monster. And we assumed that these Karakon, we saw they were wearing garb that belonged to the Karakon. And these Karakon were fighting this horrific monster, and the monster killed all of the Karakon before we were able to help them. And the monster immediately turned and began to attack us. And we all fought bravely. But as Gareth was fighting, his arms, which ran thick with black blood, suddenly began to shine like veins of gold. And
Wow.
he possessed by the monster. And we had to subdue him, which was difficult, but we were able to do.
I feel like Gareth is, once you're done describing what happened, I feel like Gareth is going to have to describe, or maybe divulge a little bit about what exactly that connection was.
Yes, none of us were really sure, so only Gareth would be able to tell you.
So what else happened after this?
Once we subdued Gareth, we were looking around what these Karakon bandits had collected, and we got all of their fine Helfarian furs and their resources, as well as a notebook which described this mine as being very old and had been previously sealed away due to the monster, and they were expecting it, but were not able to fight it. And when the mine had been reopened, it had caused not only Gareth's corruption, but earthquakes all over Arden.
So that explains some of that.
Yeah, so we not only found that, but we found resources that we would like to share with all the houses of Cambria, as well as the fine Halfarian furs, gold and gems from our mines, as well as other things that the bandits would have had, like maybe little trinkets or something.
That
Did
sounds.
I miss anything?
That sounds terrifying. I would like to know more from Gareth for sure about what exactly it was, or that affected him so. I mean, you've always been kind of terrifying.
You've been only keeping me out for so long.
Are you the friendly neighborhood shadow that I've come to know and love and trust and respect?
Shadow. I predate all shadows. I predate light itself.
Chancellor, what did you find down there?
Gareth is not here. This body is mine now.
Chancellor, is the body of Gareth in a secure location that is not going to attack and kill me?
Yeah, he's manacled in the mine.
Good. Good, he can stay there. I think he should stay there and be nowhere near anybody that can be hurt.
I think we should probably perform an exorcism.
Can you do that?
Well, sure. My god is the god of light, of course.
Can we try?
We can, and I hate to say it, but I suppose I'll ask for Letitia's help as well, considering it took both of them to defeat darkness the last time.
Letitia will grant you that help you request. With my aid.
Yes.
I feel like that's a good idea. You can try.
Okay. I will start my prayer if you would like to perhaps do yours simultaneously. I will also use my wonderful staff of light to help.
I will retrieve something of mine to help you.
Where best could we feel your power being exerted in these mines?
For Lord Lucent, the best you can do is look towards the light wherever the light is and pray to it. You don't have to pray toward Lucent himself, just pray to the light, and whatever strength you have and you believe in, it will help lend towards defeating the evil if we concentrate our power together. Do you have whatever powerful object?
I have the ivory snake. The snake will hopefully help us bring this demon out.
Okay. Then I think together we should both conduct our prayers so that together hopefully the power can combine. Even if they seem somewhat disjointed, together the power might be enough to complete the exorcism. Did we have a reflective plate that the golem picked up?
We did.
We retrieved it.
Yeah, but
Can we also perhaps someone use that and try to focus some energy in it? It might be strong enough to help act as a conduit.
We dropped the plate, but it isn't.
Cannot save you.
We dropped the plate. We dropped the plate, but it isn't far. If you need me to have Doldrum retrieve it, it'll only take a minute.
I think it could help because it seemed like it was very reflective.
Start the prayer, and I'll have Doldrum go retrieve the plate.
Okay. As I said, if you can, look towards the light wherever it might be and focus your energy so that we can use it. Oh Lord Lucent, please hear our prayers. We call to you in this time of aid. We need your light, your power, and your energy. Please help us cleanse this individual, release some of the dark hold that might be over him. With your energy, I believe that we may be able to free him and lock away this darkness from before. Please join the power of Iris and our other gods, and even Lutetia. We beg together that you join.
Doldrum has the plate.
We can go ahead and use whatever conduits we may have to retrieve his energy from this individual and place it in a safe dimension where he cannot hurt anyone ever again.
Doldrum is holding the plate. Colin, are you
Save the
feeling
gods from
anything?
our prayers.
Your gods are nothing compared to me.
I think we need to pray harder.
Yeah, we do. Everybody,
Everyone's
pray
fault.
towards whatever you believe in.
Out, you parasite!
We ask that Jesus.
Lord, listen, we beg that you hear our calls. We need your help in this time of need. Please lend us your energy so that we can repel the darkness from this individual and away from all others, to protect everybody and keep them safe so that darkness may never again enter their souls. We beg that you use our mirrors and this object to help purify and contain this energy.
It might just not work. That's always the possibility that it just doesn't work. Shadow, are you there?
He is gone. For now.
But with whatever else we encounter, we can't have this kind of darkness seeing it. That's just, we can't do that.
I think the only thing to do is to reseal the mine.
Alright. Alright.
Could
We need to... Are we going to... That's horrible.
Gareth has always found a way.
We really want to leave him in there? Why? Like, we can help him.
What if we
Gareth,
drain blood and give him real blood?
like a transfusion.
Yeah, transfusion.
I'm no mage, so I could not do that. I don't really work with blood all that often, so I could
Perhaps
do that.
the mages of House Lancaster could give some aid in this particular matter.
We could send him to Lancaster. We could definitely send him to Lancaster.
yes.
We have mages in the north.
You can't just send
We have mages in the north. I will accept him and give him help in this matter. But possibly, if we look further into the mines, we might be able to discover a way to reverse this, at least temporarily, so we can transport him and find a safe way to.
Well, Doldrum is standing by. Yeah, Doldrum is standing by. He's got the plate. I don't want to seal Doldrum away. He's my friend.
That's true too.
Bring me my syringes. My suppression.
He's asking for a suppressant.
Gareth, is that you?
I don't have that stuff. I've got some.
Find it within his belongings.
Okay, I mean, I have some substances within Doldrum that maybe could help him, but
Pouch.
I don't know.
Physical mission. If you want to look further down so that we could maybe try and find a cure.
I possibly found a suppressant. It was within his belongings. It's a vial.
Yes, that would be.
I'm going to try to administer it to him. Give me a moment.
Mm-hmm.
Let's hope it works.
I hope it does.
Gareth, are you there?
For now.
You still sound even creepier than usual.
Gareth always can.
It is difficult keeping him in check.
Maybe it just takes some time to wear off.
People were gonna lock you in the mine, Gareth. You can't do that again.
That probably just still be for the best.
He should be kept under very close watch.
I agree.
Okay,
Gareth,
fellow Ardmorians, how are we going to make that happen?
The ivory snake will watch his every move.
You'll have to forgive me, Colin. I feel that something a little bit more would be necessary, as the creature itself said multiple times that our gods are powerless against it.
That's what he thinks.
And if he proves to be correct, I believe all of Cambria would be the one to suffer.
With this information, I was not going to invite everyone to my summit, but I believe I will invite every house and include their mages. Bring their strongest and their brightest. Maybe together, in my halls, we can rid him of this problem.
that is most gracious of you, King Aegis. After not being invited, now suddenly being invited.
Well, when it comes to saving someone's life from something that they cannot control, that's not something I will turn my back to. Not after witnessing it.
Well, I don't know that I really want to be friends with the Shadow anymore.
What an interesting sentiment.
I don't know if we should accept a second round invitation to Halfarian. I don't know that Gareth thinks himself worth redeeming. From everything he said to me, from everything he's expressed to me, I don't know. I mean,
Either imprisonment or execution?
well, I don't want to kill him.
Gareth has been a close friend and ally of mine for many years. He's always been sketchy, but definitely worth saving. And definitely, I would not want to leave him to whatever fate has befallen him. I think it is most gracious of Idris to invite us to his halls to find a cure for one of our members who he may not even truly be aligned with. I think that is very, very kind.
Doldrum is concerned. As best I could describe it, he's concerned. He's looking at the wall near him now that he's holding the plate again. And I can feel, like, beneath his feet, the ground is trembling more again. It's shaking. It's opening. The ground isn't opening. It's one of the walls that's opening. And the person who's standing there doesn't frighten Doldrum, but Doldrum's made of rock, so why would he be frightened? And the person seems to have words for you. It looks like a shadow. I want to say it's like a shadow. But it doesn't look necessarily bad. And it's offering something. It's saying, usually I give riddles, but today I give an answer. Ask me a question about Cambria, and you may find it answered in your dreams. One question. And it's just kind of staring up and looking at Doldrum. I mean, it's like it knows we're behind Doldrum's eyes, which are still blazing like torches.
How do we achieve peace for Cambria?
Is that our question?
I think we should put that up to everyone. I like the question personally.
It's a good question, but we also must think of what we've learned previously. We might need to know what this darkness, not just that is infecting our friend here, but also the darkness that seemed to be encroaching in the north, and possibly a darkness that was released from the Citadel, if my reports come back true. There is a great darkness stirring. Maybe we should find out what that is and what it might bring.
It is also very possible that the response to how do we bring peace to Cambria is simply complete destruction of everything that is Cambria.
It might be an answer we don't want to hear.
It might be.
Maybe for temporary peace.
That's also true. So we could ask how to bring peace to Cambria. We could ask the nature of this darkness. Does anybody else have anything that they would think would help the world, really?
Finding out what this darkness may be may help us achieve peace within Cambria.
That's true.
That's true. So is that what we should ask? And how we have to phrase it the right way? Should we phrase it, what is the nature of this darkness?
Yes, what is the nature of this darkness, and what is its true intent?
That's good. I can try asking it that way. What is?
Want to unshackle me?
No, you were my friend, and now you're terrifying.
Oh, it appears I wasn't trying hard enough if you weren't terrified before.
Well, you weren't mean to me. We're friends. So what is the nature of this darkness? And its, what do we want to say, its intention?
That sounds good to me. How about you, the rest of you?
It sounds fine.
Clear to me.
What do you say, King Raphael?
It seems like we're in a consensus.
Yes.
All right. Doldrum, please relay our question. As Doldrum is speaking our question, the shadowy figure is looking back at him like it understands, and it says, "You will receive your answer in your dreams." And it turns back, and I'm seeing a bunch of different things. I'm seeing more shadowy creatures kind of pushed into Doldrum's limited understanding. I'm seeing a creature with pointed ears. I'm seeing a lot of things that are very normal to me. People of Ardmore, Draconians, and Doldrum feels like it's time to go. Is there anything else we need Doldrum to look at while we're here?
We got all of the resources and everything we could out of here when we came down physically. So, unless there's anything else that you guys wanted to investigate, like maybe the other side. Sorry.
Do we want to seal this mine up, or do we want to leave it open so we can come back in and get the rest of those gems?
I think right now the darkness is contained within Garrett. So I think it'd be fine if we left it open. It doesn't seem like anything else is going to be really coming from inside here, unless everyone else wants to close it off, and then that's fine.
I think getting the riches for the houses and then shutting it would be a better idea.
Yeah, I'm for that. King Raphael?
Yeah, we'll get the stuff out of it, and we don't need anything else from here.
All right.
Here in my shadows.
Are we leaving Gareth? I don't. Okay, King Raphael. I don't want him near me anymore. I'm scared of him.
I will bring him back to the north, and when the mages arrive, we will. I will have my mages look at him, and any mages that wish to come and join us, along with any other citizens at this point, may join us in our winter festivities.
I think we should just hold on to Europe until we decide to come to the north. He is Ardmorian after all, and from the last that I heard, Ardmore wasn't welcome. So, until we can, bring him with escorts and things, I think that it would be foolish to just send one of our own somewhere that we don't use.
Well, are we leaving him in the mine, or are we?
No. Get back to the golden.
He is not staying next to my room.
I
do have my own
it would
estate.
be best to give him over to another house for safekeeping. If you wish to send a delegation with him to ensure his safety, I don't see anything wrong with that.
Yeah. So being an Ardmorian and working with Gareth for a long time, I think that it would be in our best interest to remove this darkness from our land, and it is gracious that another house that we're not even allied with would take such a darkness in and put themselves at risk like that. If you think that it will be safe for your people, then I think that it's a good idea.
My citadel has a great many wards. We have dealt with dark forces before. I'm sure we can handle this, but I don't think we can stop it alone.
If the Helfarian King is willing to sign a magical peace treaty right now, binding our houses from attacking each other, I am more than willing to allow Gareth to go there. But until I know that he would be safe there, I think Ardmore is the best place to keep him.
I don't think that's necessary.
The terms of this peace treaty,
Non-aggression.
for how long?
Should there be a limit to peace?
I think that there is a binding need for keeping all options open, whether or not our friend Gareth here is helpable. If not, he will have to be...
If our representative from Lancaster wishes there to be a time limit, perhaps we can arrange it to be a peace treaty of non-aggression between our houses for the length of time up to the point where Gareth is cured, and then we can renegotiate terms at that point and see what we want to do.
Can you do?
Magical peace treaties.
I, again, don't think it's necessary, but if it's something that, everyone's in favor for, then seems fine.
I am not willing to sign a magical peace treaty, but I will give you this. I will sign a temporary peace agreement of non-aggression to show faith of a Halfarian oath that you and your people may come and see and witness. We will bring him and we will take care of him. I don't know if the threat will ever end in his life, but we can try to stop it. I'm willing to sign a temporary one that is non-magical, but in general binding, which will bring you and your forces there, and you may see for yourself whether or not you wish to continue our peace arrangement, or if my lords at the councils have decided that they no longer wish it. But your men, as long as they are in my lands, as your delegation, will be safe. I will not accept armies until we have talked about that.
I think it's time I took my leave. Farewell. You can have these manacles back.
He got out. Doldrum, go look.
As is his way.
Doldrum's showing me where Gareth was, but is no more.
Chancellor,
Yes.
you are his friend, I take it?
Something like that, yeah.
The person able to at least exert a little influence upon him. Could you convince him to go to Helfaria?
I
Not
could certainly...
only is Ardmore in danger, but indeed all of Cambria, if this goes out of control.
I agree.
He most likely might be escaping through the
Secret tunnel.
passageways, and they lead to anywhere in Cambria. He may come to the north of his own free will, or he may go anywhere in Cambria.
Is it possible, Tara, for me to... I'm, like, kind of already there. Is it possible for me to go after him?
You can look.
Okay, so I'll do that.
You can try, but at this point it's a consent-based thing, so it's on whether or not the player wants the character to be found until we're at the game, in which case they might throw more stuff in there.
That's fine. So I will bring my mirror with me, and I'll look for who we got up to.
So there's a hunt basically in progress now for Gareth.
I think that a non-magical peace treaty of a temporary nature is a good halfway point where everyone sort of gets a little bit of what they want. So I am in agreement with that as sort of a compromise, and I will give my backing to a non-magical temporary peace agreement, and that we can find Gareth and bring him north.
Very well, I will sign that. I'll have my men write it up, or your men, and we'll double check it, and we will seal the deal here.
I don't think that guarantees any remote indication of our potential presence at your party.
And just as a side note, King Idris, I would hope that you would not... that there is an amendment added that if Gareth does not show up, that you are not held to this particular treaty.
I believe that would be correct. This does not rely on whether or not Gareth does show up. We will do our best, if he does show up, to be healed. But we will at least enforce that there is no war in between our nations until we have discussed at this meeting. I invite you, Chancellor, and the individuals that wish to join us.
I wouldn't dare make a decision without some of our very few council members we have here, so I think that sounds fine for me, but I would like to hear their opinion as well. Other members of our council.
I am neutral in this subject, but I do think that I could come to terms and agree to this. So yes, I do think that is the right way to go with the blessing of our king.
If he will consent to peace, some peace is better than none.
We will take this chance to see if it's possible. I will sign this, and we will see if you are able to keep up your end. I know my men will.
Well, now we have to simply find Gareth.
I still don't want to go to the party. We weren't even invited anyway.
Perhaps see this more as an opportunity to advance Ardmore's standing. After all, not only is one of your citizens a danger to all of Cambria, but perhaps you could even better on more standing with the rest of the houses of Cambria. I don't see that that's something to dismiss out of hand.
But if
If it makes you feel any better, we have some of the mirrors from the Citadel as most, but we collected more from when the dragon broke some of the mirrors in the Citadel of Mirrors. With that, we also extend our guest right to anyone that comes and eats and drinks under our hall will be protected, not just by the magic of the mirrors, but by our ancient oaths.
Does that also mean we would get protected from Gareth?
Yes, you will be protected from Gareth inside of our hall.
To the best of our abilities.
The mirrors will reflect any type of aggression towards another individual inside of those halls, unless the High King has been hiding some of the power within those mirrors.
I mean, we still weren't initially invited, but that's just a detail. And looking through these mirrors, I see that it looks like Gareth is just. I can't see him the way I can see all of you right now. I don't think his mirror is even active or intact at this point in time. So he's definitely on the run, and he's definitely a problem.
We'll have our forces scramble the countryside, and if the Hellfarians would wish to supply with trackers and rangers, we would accept them to help with this threat to Cambria.
During this temporary peace agreement, we will send forth to assist you in this effort.
Thank you.
It seems as though the matter of Gareth is now of utmost importance. There is a temporary peace treaty. There's been an invitation extended to a party that we weren't initially invited to. Although, if we go there, it does mean that Gareth won't kill us because we'll be under protection. I really don't want Gareth to kill me. I really don't want that to happen. I'm a little worried about that. He's kind of creepy. He was always kind of creepy. Now he's, like, ultra creepy. Really trying to... I don't know. I don't know what he's trying to do. We talked to this shadowy being that promised us to reveal an answer to our question in our dreams, and the question we gave that creature was, what is the nature of this darkness and its intention? So hopefully we'll have that information soon. I think Ardmore needs to maybe have a private council on some of these matters. That is my advice. However, are there any other political matters that need to be discussed?
I think I'm fine. King Raphael, do you have anything?
No. I think we've gotten farther in this one mission than we did in several days of delegation at the last summit.
I agree. Hansa or King Idris, do you have anything from Alvaria?
I've said what I need to. We will send our men, and our contract will be signed as long as you agree to it.
And our friend from Lancaster, have you anything?
Nothing to add, but to King Idris, if you require any help in the matter of finding Gareth or in the protection for the summit, please do not hesitate to contact our queens.
But of course, it would be good to have your queens know to search their tunnels that have been found. That way, if he's in those lands, we can try to retrieve him as well.
Yes, and search for any of the Karakhan that might still be lurking around, as we have found the last remnants of their party.
Oh, there are still Karakhan open and winded.
Hopefully they were just extremists left over from the previous attack. According to the current Karakhan, from what I've been given reports, they're trying to the ones that are not aggressive. They believe it's a religion, their bloodline. Some of them are more extreme than others. We'll see whether or not this is true.
Seems to have been a specific branch of Paracon who are refusing to turn over the new leaf and wish to begin anew what they had set out originally.
So how do we determine what is peaceful and what is a non-peaceful Paracon?
If they're hiding in a mine, probably not good. The peaceful ones are, from what I understand, more open about their religion and are seeking redemption actively.
I mean, it used to be that you could condemn the entire religion based upon their actions, and now it seems that it is not so, that there are many differing viewpoints within them. I would say that it might be a good time, as we draw to a close, to have some closing prayers from the priest and priestess present, both to keep us safe from Gareth the Shadow and to ensure some peace in the future. Does that sound like goals that we would all want to work towards?
Yeah.
Sure. Yes. Absolutely.
All right. Which of you would like to go first?
Ladies first.
Okay. Lord Lucen, thank you for your presence here. We have felt your guiding light and protection. Thank you for blessing us. We hope that you will continue to watch over us in the future as we pursue the darkness that we were unable to contain. Please provide us with any aid and guidance that you may give us, and we will be open to your thoughts. Thank you.
And for Letitius.
Dear Lord Letitius, we ask and we thank you. First, we thank you for allowing us to come to the mines with our dignity and leave with our dignity. And we ask for hope of peace one day and for questions that are unanswered right now, for guidance. We thank you.
Thank you.
I do have a message.
Yes.
For you, Corinna.
For me?
Yes, from Letitius.
What?
I think I may be happy to hear this news. He has gifted me something to give to you. It is a vial containing a cure for the prize of Ardmore, the valor of Ardmore. Sir Eric, your husband, may he be well again, so you may be together.
Would it be truly selfish to use this gift for our champion and my love?
I would say not.
Does Ardmore concur that this cure may be used for Sir Eric?
Sir Eric is a hero and champion to all Ardmorians. I would like to see nothing more than him survive and thrive, and may you two be very happy together.
Indeed.
I'm not going to ask King Raphael because he's just going to make me cry more. He always does.
Blessings upon your marriage, Lady Corinna.
Thank you very much. Thank you. I will administer the cure as soon as I am able. Thank you very much, everybody. Any last political negotiations or tidings before we depart?
I want to thank Houses Lancaster and Helfaria for their help with our mine and their help with our friend who is in need at this time, and you guys stepped up and helped us out even though you didn't have to. So I wanted to thank you for that.
Yes, thank you.
Lancaster extends gratitude to the King of Ardmore and accompanying royalty, for allowing safe passage through your lands to help in this matter, and hope that we can find a amenable end to this particular new development.
Agreed.
All right, if that's everything, I'm going to say goodbye through the magic mirrors and hopefully tend to my husband.
I would like to add one thing.
Yes.
I thank Ardmore for allowing us this insight on your kingdom and the ability to understand your current situation more. We're looking forward to seeing how we can help and maybe the betterment and togetherness movement that the High King was hoping for will come true. It's yet to be seen, but this does pave a brighter road for Cambria at the moment. I'd also like to thank our allies of Lancaster and wish you, lady, and your husband a good and healthy life together, and for shedding light on more of Lord Lucent and even Letitia.
Thank you all so much. We will certainly, I'm sure we will certainly be having a dream with our response from that creature, and I hope it is a good-natured creature. I didn't sense anything terribly difficult. So thank you all, and have a safe travels back home for those of you who are traveling.